Plug in, log on, let's break it down. Truth ain't scared to be found. Dogma shakes when questions rise. No more fear, no more lies. Cyber deconstruction, let's get real. Faith when challenge starts to peel. If it's built on solid ground, why is it scared to stick around? Sacred text, twisted views. Time to separate lies from truth. Not here to burn, but here to see what survives when the mind breaks free. Deconstruct, analyze, open hearts, open eyes. If it falls, let it be. What remains is meant to be. Cyber deconstruction, let's get real. Faith when challenge starts to peel. If it's built on solid ground, why is it scared to stick around? Not for hate, but for the wise. Truth won't shatter, only lies. Time to start the conversation. Now ain't the time to pretend nothing happened.
Welcome in. Welcome in. Just gonna listen here real quick, making sure. All right, sounds like we're good. We're good. Can you all hear me over on TikTok? YouTube can hear me. I see know if you can hear me over on TikTok if we're good. Make sure we got no echoes going on. All right. So, hey, I apologize for being gone the last little bit. I've been eating canned beans on TikTok. So, I just got my account back late last night. So we're live. We're going to get back on the regular schedule. Tonight's topic, why is God a sick monster? Hopefully we get back up on the algorithm. Hopefully with YouTube, we get back up on the algorithm. How you doing, Arizona Mike? Also, make sure if you're not following me on YouTube, go follow me on YouTube. We don't know what the future holds. The 19th, which is just, let's see, today's the 16th, 17th, 18th. So we only got like 2 to 3 more days left of TikTok potentially in the United States. So make sure that you are following me on YouTube. If it turns out that this app does not get extended, if the deadline does not get extended, I will be continuing over on YouTube. We'll be going live over there. Likewise, make sure you're following Joyful Apostate, Deconstruction Zone, Crystal J, Joel, Mezzo, Ian, Apologetically Ian. Make sure you're following all of our great deconstruction community creators over on YouTube, because we don't want you to miss anything. Arizona Mike, they've been saying that it's going to get extended. Like, that's what the AI and everything says. However, if you remember, back in April when it got extended, Trump extended that a week early. And this time it hasn't been extended. And I think with some of the issues Trump has been having, I'm not too confident he's going to extend it because he hasn't been necessarily getting the praise that he's been wanting. So we shall see. We shall see. Dropping saucy nuggets. I don't have a church hurt. But saucy nuggets. It's amazing that is what your go-to would be. Is church hurt, and somehow you try to weaponize that. There's no church hurt here. I didn't grow up Christian. I've never been Christian. I grew up practicing Judaism. And I've never had church hurt. But if you do want to join into the debate, if you're over on YouTube, links right here, tinyurl.com/cd-guest. You can actually join that too if you want to over on, if you're on TikTok as well, you can join it that way as well. And see if we can get some debates coming in. The Phoenix, that's what I'm worried, is that Trump may not renew it because it turns out that he is on the grumpier side, and I think he might get back onto his old frickin' TikTok, brah. And keep in mind that even if he does push it back again, he only has a number of days that he can legally do that before the system doesn't allow him to do it anymore. And so I think if he does push it back one more time, I think that'll be the last time he can legally do it. And even this last time he did it might have been the last time he could have legally done it. And we have somebody that we haven't heard from in a hot minute. Seeing if we can get Hanji up here. We haven't heard from Hanji in a hot minute. Right, the first time in history Trump follows a law. 100%, 100%. Oh, I thought I clicked accept on Hanji. Oh, there we go. Hanji's coming up now. How you doing, Hanji?
I'd be better if I had my main account. TikTok.
Let me make sure you can be heard. You can be heard over on YouTube. Let me know if you hear an echo from Hanji. And real quick, Captain Diaper, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Happy Monday, friend. Just convinced my two preteens to have ABBA dance party with me, and now I get to watch you. Did I just level up? You might have just leveled up. It might be 100% level up. If you get to do two amazing things. If you do a third amazing thing tonight, make sure you go pinch yourself. You might be dreaming.
So I get my account back Wednesday 18th? Thursday? No. Yeah, Thursday?
Fair.
Either way. That's when I get my account back.
Oh, well, good news is it doesn't seem like my YouTube algorithm is affected too much because we're at 136 people on YouTube right now. We're up to 34 people on TikTok. And Preston, if your birthday was just a few days ago, happy flippin' birthday. And Miss Michelle, thank you so much for the roses on TikTok. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. And again, as always, any super chats, if you do send super chats, those will all get read. If they're like $5 or less, they'll be read. I'll wait till after the current discussion. But if they're like $20 or more, I will stop the discussion. I will read it out. And we'll read those out loud. And Miss Michelle is absolutely smashing this goal. So let me get this reset. And I'm not going to lie, like a part of me, if TikTok goes away, a part of me will definitely miss it.
Oh, he's definitely about to throw a temper tantrum with TikTok. Watch.
Well, if you remember, I was talking about it earlier. Back in April, when he extended it this last time, he did it a week in advance.
Mm-hmm.
And this
Kani-kani,
time he hasn't done it, and we're 3 days away. So I'm curious if he's throwing a tantrum because we've had the No King's Day protests and a few other things. And it turns out that, a lot of this information gets spread because of TikTok. And unfortunately, there's nothing he can do. Oh, excuse me. There's nothing he can
Nah.
do about YouTube or any of these things because they're American owned. But when it comes to TikTok, though, because it's owned by another country, then he can be like, wah.
Oh, speaking of other countries, I don't know if you heard, but hi everyone, a lot of people that serve or are serving currently got fed steak and lobster today.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. I was like, uh-oh. We know what that means.
Yep. Well, so what I foresee happening. Oh, hold on one moment.
Oh, also, you need to give me my God mod powers on this account because remember, this is my backup.
Oh, yeah. And a $5 super chat from Adele, only sending another super to clarify that last one you read was mine, so I can send you more support. Adele, thank you so much. Like, you want to know, between Adele and her husband, I believe it's Rock Hard for Doug. They do so much support in this community. They support me quite a bit. They support Justin quite a bit, and Adele. I know from the bottom of my heart, and I know Justin feels the same way. Thank you so much for all the support you give us. I'm waiting. Another reason why I can't wait for like a part of me is like, hopefully TikTok goes away. Trying to freaking do this on a laptop is just ridiculous. Like, Live Studio loads so slow. I'm trying to update my goals, and my computer's like, oh, there we go. My computer's like, bro, I'm a laptop. I can only do so much. And we got Chet sending the lightning bolts. Thank you so much, Chet. Greatly appreciate it. And Adele, just to make sure, that Captain Diaper, is that Trump wearing a diaper? Because if that is hilarious. Harlequist, no, this isn't rage bait. I am a firm believer that God is a sick monster. After 20 minutes, we'll change up that last word monster. We'll get that changed up here in about 20 minutes. You know what? We're going to go with this Rainbow Mini Star because this thing's just loading up so slow. So the Rainbow Mini Star is 100 coins. Chet with the lightning bolts. Hanji, Chuck Dog is sending you some roses.
Oh, thank you. Mod
God
powers.
abandoned your hairline as well. My hairline has been this way. As a matter of fact, I probably show you my ID from when I was in the Marine Corps. This is where my hairline has been since I was a teenager. So I don't think my hairline's going anywhere.
The only thing you're missing is the Jewish curlage.
Oh, I straighten my hair. I can't stand the
Oh.
curlage. I mean, you can see it a little bit. As a matter of fact, I could show you pictures of my son, and he's got
Oh, I've
more
seen it.
curls than Ian.
Mm-hmm. I've seen it. You know that now that you bring up Ian, I always thought Ian was Jewish.
Mm-mm.
He has the look, the glorious curls.
Hold on. Tilt Tiltsty, whatever your name is, does this say anything about the Christian God? Does this say anything about Hanji, guess what? Zeus is a sick frack.
Yeah.
See? See?
That ain't nothing new. Still love him though.
So it's allegedly Ian. If you're not following allegedly Ian, give him a follow here on TikTok and on YouTube. It's just allegedly.Ian. Go give him a follow. You may have seen him on Jubilee.
Thank you for the scarabs. Oh, apparently there's a pharaoh gift. If anyone sends it to me, please ask me if I'm ready, because apparently if you turn on your camera when someone sends a pharaoh gift, it gives you the headpiece and the chin piece of the pharaoh. Ah,
But yeah,
it's so
so
pretty.
if you do want to join the debate, hop in the box. I gotta give Hanji. Hanji, can you leave a message over on in just leave a message. That's the easiest way for me to give that to you. And if you're on YouTube and you want to join the debate, type in the link tinyurl.com/cd-guest. That way, then you don't need your camera. You can use whatever name you want.
I commented in chat.
Yeah, but
Above Arcana. And Ian is 24. He is a baby.
They.
Me.
Sorry, they.
No, you're good. Oh, they. That's right. Yes. Sorry. They are 24. Mm-hmm. They're just a baby.
Just a
But thank you
baby.
for the love. Oh my God. Everyone is doing political lives right now, and I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Gilgamesh, you are the baby. But how has everyone's week been?
Oh, it's been a week. I had the day off today, and then somebody at work couldn't finish their route, so I went in at 3 to finish 133 stops.
Oh, jeez. Oh, the scarab doesn't show because the scarab is 1. I think it's just the... Hold on. Let me see. I think it's the pharaoh thingy, but I don't see... I don't think my thingy has it.
All right, Hanji, you should be getting your mod powers here in just a moment.
Yay!
But yeah, let's get up here. I want to definitely discuss with some people, discuss why we believe that God is a sick monster. And it could be any God. It'd be Allah, it could be Yahweh, any deity. If you have any deity, I am calling your God a sick fuck. So come on up, let's talk about it. I'd love to have a debate with you, talk to you about it. And Hanji, you should have your mod powers now.
Yep. I got them.
So what I'll do is I'll have you on TikTok bring the guests up. That way then I'm not like freezing while trying to do it.
Okay, that works.
Cameron, if you think I'm doing this for what did you say? If you think I'm doing this for attention, hop in the box, let's talk about it. Promise that I will out debate you. I will out talk. By time we are done, we got somebody coming in. So before we bring them in, let me go ahead and mute my earbuds, or else you guys are going to hear double. So let me get my headphones muted. Say goodbye, Hanji.
Oh no! Goodbye!
All right, we'll get this guest brought up. And are you there? I don't see your name. Guess on Video Ninja, you are live and on the air. Hello? All right, they are not responding, so we'll go ahead and drop them. Get this yes
Hello?
over here brought in. And servant, you're live and on the air.
Hello, sir. Nice to meet you.
Yep, let me make sure we can hear you over here. Hold on.
Absolutely.
Okay, sounds like they can hear you. Make sure if you're hearing echoes, make sure you let me know. Can I get your age real quick?
Yeah, I'm 21.
You're 21, and are you a
Yes.
Christian?
I'm
Uh,
a follower of Jesus Christ, yes.
you're a follower of Jesus Christ. All right, question that I have for you is why is your God a sick fuck?
Well, I know for a fact he isn't, but that's actually something I had a question for you is what defines sick or even evil by your own terms?
Oh, it's a lack of empathy. I ground morality in empathy.
You ground morality and empathy. And where does your morality come from?
Yes. Empathy. I just told you that.
No, yeah, but I mean, like, how is that a basis for understanding based off of your own mind?
Yeah,
Like,
so
how do you
do you know what
base
empathy
your
is?
morality? What is it actually found? Morality isn't founded on the idea of empathy or
It
the
is. It
observation
is.
of empathy.
It is. Want me to tell you why?
I mean, you can give me some sort of speculation, sure.
Yeah, so empathy is the ability to put yourself in somebody else's shoes, right? So essentially, whenever we're having a dialectic, it's the ability to listen to their side of an argument. And if you refuse to listen to a side of an argument, you're not employing empathy. So, for example, when Hitler moved forward with the Shoah in the 1930s, he ignored the entire Jewish argument. He ignored the entire Romani argument. He ignored the entire LGBTQIA plus side of the argument. Anybody that disagreed with him, he ignored their entire side of the argument. Thus, the Shoah, his actions during World War II were completely irrational.
Hello?
Hello, are you there?
Yeah, sorry, you cut out a bit there. It said user not
Oh,
available or something like that.
oh. So yeah, so what I was
You left
saying
off with the
is
Shoah in World War II.
yeah, so the World War II, essentially, when we ignore a whole side of an argument, we're being irrational, right? So when Hitler did his actions during World War II, he ignored the entire argument of the Jewish people. He ignored the entire argument of the Romani people. He ignored the entire argument of the LGBTQIA plus community. He ignored the entire arguments of those that disagreed with him. Thus, his actions during World War II were irrational. Thus, he was wrong.
So you're not saying, oh, sorry. Are you finished?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're not saying that the actions that he did themselves were immoral or irrational, but only the fact that he didn't show empathy that made it immoral.
Correct. When you do an action without showing empathy and you ignore entire arguments, you're being irrational.
Okay. So the understanding of someone else's emotions, understanding how it feels to be them, is morality. Is that what you're saying? I'm making.
No, empathy is the ability to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. And whenever we're having a dialectic, it's the ability to listen to the other side of the argument. And when you refuse to listen to the other side of the argument, you're acting irrational, thus you're wrong. So this is where I ground my morality in.
That's where you ground your morality.
Well,
So are
that's
you
where we
making this as
should
like a
ground
truth
morality in.
claim? Is it objective, subjective? What are you saying?
It's objective. Morality would be objective under this worldview.
Okay. So then the whole point of objectivity is that it's true no matter what, right? Meaning that
Stance independent,
aside from
correct.
people out there, yeah, it is independent of anyone. So that means if anything has to be
Well, stance
objective, it
independent
has
of
to
a
be,
mind, correct.
yeah, that If it's
Hmm.
independent of anything, that means it has to be placed there before you, before me, before anything. It's like a law outside of a lawgiver that doesn't make any sense. If anything is independent of anything, or if anything is objective, it means it has to be at least placed there before us, which means these things exist before us making a god or anything, even by your standards,
Yeah, I
above
can agree with that.
you.
Sure, I can agree with that. Sure.
So then we can at least come to terms that, for one thing, there would be a God under that worldview. Now, I mean, I just
No,
got to
there
really
wouldn't
stick
be.
to the point. There wouldn't
No,
be.
there wouldn't
Okay,
be.
so there has to be something above you at the very least.
No, it doesn't have to be something above me.
So then what
But let me
made
ask you a
that
question real quick,
objective?
though. Well, let me ask you a question. Let me kind of cut to the chase
Okay.
here. Are you do you even state that like any truth requires it to be placed like before humans, like something had to place it there?
Well, if it is an objective, then it has to exist. It means it simply
Well, let me ask
is.
you.
If it
Let
is
me
an
ask you a
objective truth.
question. Yeah, well,
Mhm.
yeah. Let me ask you a question. Let me give you a hypothetical. Let me say there is no God. We have no God in this hypothetical, right? Now,
It's
with
quite
there
the
being
hypothetical.
no God, yeah. Now, let's say in this hypothetical, I say there is no God. In your worldview, does that mean truth cannot exist?
Uh, Objective truth, in the
Yeah,
sense
objective
that
truth.
it can't be placed anywhere unless there's some sort of higher being outside. If there is absolutely no God, that means there's nothing outside that can build the structure of these things. Because even according to smaller, like,
So does that mean
cultic
there's no
truths or stuff
truth? So
like
in
that, there
your
are
world,
God. Well, hang
hold
hang on,
on.
hang on, hang on, hang on,
I
hang
don't
on.
I don't need the Gish Gallop. I just need a yes or
I didn't
no,
get to
right?
finish.
Does this mean that if there is no God, then there is no true objective truth?
Well, I wanted to state the claim because the first
Well,
part
is
of
that
this
a
is that
yes or
there's multiple
no? Is
ways to
that a yes or
define it.
no? Well, I'm just talking about
You
objective
can't just
truth,
answer this with a
right?
yes or no.
Sure you can.
Yeah, you're talking about objective truth, but there's multiple perspectives here that you can follow a definition for, right? And you can't just say yes or no to this if there's multiple definitions involved. That's not being honest.
So are you saying that
So the
objective
path that I was
truth
going to
can exist
follow,
without God? Does objective truth exist without God?
no, that's not what I'm saying. So you're
Oh,
saying, okay,
so
let me clarify a bit more real quick, right? There's no gods at all. Not God, gods, goddesses, no deities even, right?
no deities, nothing,
No, nothing.
nothing
Nothing
supernatural.
outside of time. Nothing outside of time.
Correct.
Nothing
Nothing
outside
outside of
of
time.
the
It's
universe
just
as it's
us
expected.
humans. It's
Okay.
just us humans. We're looking at the Big Bang. The
Yeah. No.
atheist worldview is what exists, right?
Atheistic worldview cannot create objective truth. Yes.
Okay. Is that a truth claim? Is that true?
The atheistic worldview cannot create objective truth. That is a truth claim
Yeah,
saying that we see
yeah,
objective
and in
truth.
this, yeah. Hold on, yeah. So in this hypothetical, you're saying that the atheistic worldview cannot make truth claims, and I'm asking you, is that true?
Yeah, because we're not in that hypothetical. The
Okay, so
hypothetical
without a
itself is
God,
written.
so without a God, you've just established that without a God, we can have a truth claim because it is the fact that if there is no God, we would have no objective truth. And you said, and I asked you, would that be true? And you said yes, that would be true, which means that
It's a
the
truth claim,
precondition.
but not an objective truth. It'd be subjective.
No, and then I asked you, is that true? And you said yes, thus meaning that without a God, we do have objective truth, right? It
Not at
is
all.
true that atheists cannot. So hold on, would it not be true that without God, there can't be objective truth then?
Without God, so here, let me make a full statement, right? In accordance
Okay.
to the actual hypothetical that you gave.
Yeah,
So,
make it.
objective truth cannot exist without God. In your hypothetical, there are no gods.
Yeah,
If there are people in your
correct.
hypothetical, you can make a subjective truth claim based off of your understanding, but it would not, you cannot have anything in the universe that would be objective of holding. My truth claim would
Okay,
have
so hold
no
on. Let me
value
respond to
or
that.
effect or hope.
Yeah. So if it is the case that without a God, there cannot be no objective truth, my question for you then is that true?
Okay, are we speaking in the actual realm of where
In
we
my
are
hypothetical,
now?
this is still
Because
within, no, this is still within the hypothetical.
I would have to make a
You
subjective
stated
truth
that,
claim.
no, it'd
Because
be
in
an
your
objective truth
hypothetical,
claim. It's mind dependent. There's no minds that are noticing that there's no objective truth. It is true regardless
well,
of any minds.
yeah. So here's the thing, right? If I'm stating this as this is true,
Hold on,
it'd
I
be
want you to hold on. I
subjective
don't
to
think you're
understand it.
listening. I want you to
No, I'm
listen. I
listening.
want you to
Well, say
listen
it
very
again,
closely
just to
because
make
I don't
sure that.
think you're listening. Okay. You said that
Uh,
without God, any God, there is no objective truth, correct?
okay, I should have clarified. In grounds of morality, right?
No, we're just talking about truth in general. Without God, any God, there is no objective truth.
Hmm.
Okay, and
Okay,
you said yes,
and what was
correct?
your claim to that? What was
Right,
your
and
claim to
then
that? What was your claim to that?
well, and you said yes. You said in the affirmative, without God's, there is no objective truth. I then asked you, is that true?
Mm-hmm.
So is it
And I
true
said,
that without God's, there is no objective truth?
yes, but it's in accordance to our world. Our world has a God.
No, 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 no,
So
no.
I'm saying yes
You
to
don't
that
get to
claim, but
change.
not in the
Hold on.
confines of your hypothetical.
I'm muting you now because you don't.
Am
I'll
I
mute you
muted?
now. You don't get to change the hypothetical. This is within the hypothetical.
Yeah, I'm saying, okay. It's not that I'm changing the hypothetical, right?
You have to
It's that
stay
the
within the
answer to your
hypothetical.
question
In the
lies outside of it.
hypothetical. So within the hypothetical, if it is true that without God's there is no objective truth, if that is true, that it is true statement is objective, it's mind independent, meaning no minds are recognizing this. Thus, what we have is objective truth existing without a God, right? And then with an objective truth existing without a God, this also means that we have a proposition. Objective truth can exist without a God. That's a proposition, which means we now have the number one. Well, with a proposition and the number one, we now have two things, and now we've got a number line, right? So we've got things that can exist without a God.
Okay, then what about objective moral truths?
Well, first of all, before we could get to objective moral truth, I just need you to concede that even without God, we can have objective truth. It does exist. And I
For
just showed you
objective
why.
truth, because you're saying, okay, this is an argument of like, if you're saying that something isn't true or is true, no matter what, there's objectivity to it, because with or without, there's an objective, right?
Correct.
Is that what you're trying to claim here?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Because it would be true that atheists can't have truth. That would still be an objectively true statement without a God. So, yes.
So then you're also
So,
conceding by saying that with no God, well, hang on, yeah, let me clarify. You're also conceding by saying that with no God, atheists cannot have truth, meaning moral, actual truth, right?
no, because we can, because I just showed you that you're wrong. Because if the proposition is
No,
that atheists can't have objective truth, but that claim is true, then yes, atheists can have objective truth.
it's not that they have objective truth; it's that it exists, right? If no
No,
mind has to
objective
be there to
truth.
observe
Yeah,
it, that
objective
that
truth.
exists, but it doesn't mean that they absolutely have it. And if they do absolutely have it, that means that they have to also concede to the fact that the absolute truth doesn't exist.
No,
And
the
the
truth does
understanding that the
exist.
absolute
The
truth
objective
wouldn't
truth. The
exist.
point is, listen. The point is that objective truth does exist, regardless if there's a God or not. Objective truth does exist. And real quick, rock hard for Doug. Thank you so much for the $5. I 100% agree that all gods are monsters, except for Doug and Sharon Stone, of course. Yes, and their son Rocky. This is the first rock apostle. This is the rock that Doug threw. But yes. So thank you so much, rock hard for Doug. So yeah, the point is that even without a God, objective truth does exist, right? So that's all that's trying to prove is so that we don't need God for objective truth. That's all that's trying to show. Now, since we do have objective truth, it would be true that I can rely on phenomenal conservatism, which is where we use phenomenal conservatism to be able to utilize empathy to ground all moral claims. I can ground my morality in empathy.
Okay, clarify phenomenal conservatism.
Phenomenal conservatism just states that I am justified that my seemings seem real in lieu of a defeater. So I can give you any of my seemings, all things considered, and I am justified in believing them unless you're able to provide a defeater.
So basically, you're saying I'm justified in whatever I think unless you prove me wrong.
Yeah, if you could prove me wrong, like for example, if I was to go out and say, let me think of something completely ridiculous. If I was to go out and say that rocks, like this rock is soft, right? You'd quickly be able to provide a defeater for that. So my seemings would not be justified. You can provide a defeater for that. Right? So it would be the case that that rock is not soft. My seemings would be off. You provide a defeater for that. So as long as you are not able to provide a defeater for my seemings, then I'm justified in believing them.
Okay, and so you're saying that since there isn't a defeater for empathy being the grounding of your morality, that it is just true?
You just need to provide the
That
defeater.
it's
What's the defeater
objectively
for
true?
it? Yeah, what's the defeater for it?
No, I'm trying to clarify, right? I'm trying to clarify that
Correct.
with phenomenal conservatism, right? 'Cause I've never heard of this in
Yep.
my entire life, right? That if you were to never find a defeater, it would make it objectively true, meaning that outside of you and everything else, it would be true no matter what.
It just says that I'm justified in believing that my seemings
Is
seem
that what you're saying?
real. Well, I'm justified in believing that my seemings seem real unless you can provide the
Okay.
defeater.
So it's still
So my
subjective.
huh?
Okay. So
Well,
it's
no,
still
it doesn't say
subjective.
it doesn't say it's subjective, because it is the case that there are things that that are seemings to me that when we look at everybody around the world, they seem to be the seemings. When we look at mathematics, those seemings seem to be real. We're able to explain things utilizing science, philosophy, and other things that would make them objectively true. So you would just need to provide the defeater for those.
Yeah. It wouldn't actually make it objective because it would have to be outside of everyone. And if it doesn't apply to everyone, then it also wouldn't make it objective. And if there are some things,
Well, no, because
some
we
things I'm
can
thinking about that wouldn't
well,
make
we
it
can
completely
utilize
objective, but it would make it subjective.
well, if you listen, we can
And
utilize
objective means it's
philosophy and
true
science
no
and other
matter
means
what
to
in every
explain
situation.
them, right? So they'd be outside of the mind, they'd be philosophically sound, they'd be scientifically sound, we can measure them. So yeah, you just be wrong.
So what about morality can be measured scientifically?
Yeah, we can measure like suffering. we can take a look and realize that an argument has not been listened to. So again, going back to the Shoah, the Shmolocaust, when we have people doing these horrific acts and they're not listening to a whole side of an argument, they're wrong. Likewise, when we take a look at, say, Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 28, that states, if a man meets a virgin who is not engaged and seizes her and lies with her, and they are discovered, the man who lay with her shall give 50 shekels of silver to the woman's father, and she shall become his wife, because he violated her. He shall not be permitted to divorce her as long as he lives. This is a law in which God is requiring a virgin who is raped to be married to her rapist. God is not listening to the argument of the woman who was raped when he is commanding her to stay with the guy who raped her. Thus, God is not utilizing empathy. God is being irrational in this law, and God is just plain wrong in this law.
Number one, it's not a law. Number two, rapists are heavily condemned.
It is a
and
law.
They're actually killed by the law of Deuteronomy and Leviticus.
Oh, can you show me the law? Where it is a law. If a man meets a virgin who is not engaged,
condemned.
No, they're not. Where?
I said that rapists are condemned. Here, I'll show you. Ready?
Well, we have to say grapist. We're on TikTok as well, so we have to say grape. But it is the case that in Deuteronomy 22, the grapist, the only way he is condemned is by being required to marry the woman that he raped. He pays her father the bride price, and then he is required to marry her, and he is not allowed to divorce her. That's the condemnation. But it is the case that the woman who is forced to stay married to her, is her argument, her protest is not listened to. God doesn't give two shits about her argument, and thus he is not utilizing empathy when he passed this law. Thus he is acting irrational.
And I'm pulling up the verse so I can show you rapism. Rape.
Mm-hmm. Deuteronomy 22, verse 28 through 29.
Is condemned. So first I'm going to go to Deuteronomy. You said 22, 28 through 29?
Yep, sure did.
Dun, dun, dun.
And while we're waiting for him to go ahead and read that, let's keep tapping the screen, sharing the live. Let's get this out. Again, if you do want to support me, meeting the gift goals on TikTok help. Hitting the little heart up here helps out. Sending gift goals help. If you're on YouTube and you want to join the discussion, tinyurl.com/cd-guest, get on in and we can definitely talk. If you do want to send super chats, those are definitely greatly appreciated. I love each and every one of you here that are supporting me. Also, if you are mods on TikTok and YouTube, shoot me a message. Because I want to make sure I get you added into the Discord, my Discord server. Also, please join the Deconstruction Junction Discord server. That one is, there's no memberships or anything required for that one. It is our greater deconstruction community. It's where you get to talk to me. You can talk to Justin from Deconstruction Zone, Mezzo, Joel, Thinker, Christina Carroll, and all the other, Christ Before Jesus, Jaron, and all the other amazing creators that we have. You there? Did you get a chance to read it? Did he leave?
I can't hear anything on my end. I've just been reading.
Yeah, I'm looking. I think he dropped. Oh no, he's still here. Looks like he might have dropped. You there, You there? You there, Destiny?
Yes, I am.
All right. Did you get a chance to read it? So what I'm going to prophesy here is you're going to read the other verses that are just above it. And the verses that are just above it, you're going to have two of them that state that the woman is married. Oh, real quick, we got another thing to read. Thank you, Rock Hard for Doug, for another $5 super chat. Big W to Rocky, the only begotten of Rock and Sharon. Don't ever take Rocky for granted. Absolutely, yeah. We don't ever take Rocky for granted. We actually can learn more about Rocky and the Holy Rock Trinity through the saintly father Igneous. If you go read about Saint Igneous, you can read up and he'll tell us all about the Holy Rock Trinity. So the way I found Rocky was through a divine toe stubment. He got me right in my pinky. All right, Destiny. We's a-waiting.
Hello?
Hello. So, what's your, how are you going to refute Deuteronomy 22 by punishing the woman the virgin who is graped to marrying her rapist? What's your refutation to this?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, Destiny,
Yes,
you were
okay.
looking for that, weren't you? And what's your refutation for
You
it?
got the wrong person.
Oh, are you a new person? What? The other person actually dropped because he had the same name as you. Oh, sorry. Wrong person. It was servant. Let me go ahead and I had the wrong person. Let me go fix that. That was my bad. I thought that was the right person. That was my
I
bad.
was so confused.
Hello, servant.
Hello.
So what's your refutation to that?
I was so lost. I was like, my name is not Destiny.
That's
All right.
my bad, my bad. So what's your refutation to that?
No, of course. So Deuteronomy 22, not only is it in the prior verses for any sort of context to it, saying if there's any resistance that the rapist will instead be stoned and she is not, but also Leviticus and Matthew.
Oh,
and
hold on, but
Romans.
read that. What's hold on, real quick. No, we're talking about the Old Testament right
There's a
now.
lot of hold on.
So when we read about that woman, what is the condition of that woman that you're talking about? It mentions a condition of her. What's that condition?
Yeah, it says that if she does not resist.
It says what about her though? What does it say about her? She is what kind of woman?
Who is a virgin? Is this what it means? Is that what you're getting at? Who is not betrothed? Is this what you're getting at? Hello?
Yeah, we'll go read it together. Yeah, we'll read it together. Let me get it brought back up real quick. So yeah, so what it says is, what verse are you looking at?
Well, in 25, I'm looking at basically all of 22 here, right? And
Yeah, so 22 says, if a man, hold on, let's read that.
Right?
If a man, 22 says, hold on, read 22.
Yeah.
Well, hold on, let me get this brought up on screen real fast. You won't be able to see it, but it'll be for
Do you want me to read it?
my chats. Oh, that's high. Let's get that brought down.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. So yeah, so we'll just go through these here little by little. So yeah, so in 22, if a man is discovered lying with the wife of another, so that means the woman's already married, right? So 23, if there is a young woman, a virgin, already engaged, so she's already engaged, meaning the bride price has already been paid, right? And these 22 and 23 state that both of them get unalived because it is stating that this is consensual. They're both consenting. Verse 25, if a man meets the engaged woman in the open country
Wait, you
and
just started
seizes her and
talking
lies
again.
with her, right now, keep in mind, this is an engaged woman. This isn't a virgin. Like, this is a woman whose bride price has already been paid. If he meets the engaged woman in the open country and seizes her and lies with her, then only the man with her shall unalive, because he raped her, but she's already, her bride price has already been paid. That's why she's engaged. And then in verse 28, if a man meets a virgin, now notice the qualifier here, who is not engaged. So that's the difference, is this woman is not engaged. So that is why, if she is not engaged, this is why she is forced to marry him, because their the bride price has not been paid, which is why he now has to pay the bride price to her father and has to marry her.
Couldn't we say
If that makes
just from like
sense.
a logical stance, if we were to take from what happened,
And it looks
with,
like I
one of the
am
other young women-
frozen on YouTube, or let me make sure
Yeah,
my
and I'm
YouTube
answering it.
stream
I said,
is
could it be?
still going. Oh, yep, it's still going. It looks like it's going slow. But are you still there?
Yeah.
Oh, it
Yeah,
looks
hello?
like YouTube stopped streaming. Let me get that
Hello?
going again. Oh. Hold up, Destiny. I can't hear ya. Let me get this fixed real fast.
What is up with
All right, Destiny, you there?
What is up with that? Dude, oh my goodness.
Sorry, servant. I was looking over it, Destiny. I apologize. Servant. I'll try not to do that again. I apologize. But do you see the difference, though?
No, you're good. No, yeah. Now I was gonna answer, but then I mean you got sidetracked. It's all good. One of the biggest things we can actually look at here is you can apply what happened earlier, right? Because we look to even how in the New Testament, how they look back on what Jewish culture was at the time for what rape was and what it was considered, which is wrong. In that, look, how this is, you can apply the same thing. And if that woman went out and cried and creamed, uh, screamed and cried, my goodness.
Well,
Sorry, I'm a
listen,
little
the reason
tired.
why God is a sick
Screamed and
monster.
cried
Well,
over all these things.
listen. The only reason why God, yeah. So the reason why, well, hold on, listen. The reason why God is a sick monster is that he allowed it to begin with.
There's such a delay here.
He literally commanded a
There's such a
woman
delay.
that was
Oh,
great.
okay. So now it's an argument of evil. Okay, absolutely.
Yeah,
We can go to this.
That's what it's been the whole time, my dude.
Dude, this is so hard of the delay. Oh my goodness. Is there any way to get rid of this delay? I feel like you can't hear me.
All right. Let's go ahead and see who's, man, this box is, I think it's crashing. Let me drop some of these people. I think it's starting to crash my computer with all these people sitting in here. So we're gonna drop a few of them. Starting to like make my computer start to crawl.
You're still dealing with the URL peoples?
Yes. All right, we'll see about Chris. Chris, how you doing? Chris, you are live and on the air. Okay, we got no response there. Shady Potato. We'll bring up Shady Potato. Shady Potato, you are live and on the air. Let me close some programs down.
Cyber, you're muted for me. Can anyone in the TikTok chat hear our host? Yep, no sound. Hold on, guys. Still muted, darling. I think it was something that you exited out of. It took your sound. I cannot hear you now, no. I'm very good at reading lips, though. Nope. I'm not his ex. We were never together, Empire. Nope, still nothing, darling. I know. Sacrifice something, Arcana says. No, I decided to go my separate way. We're doing our own things now. Let's have a meme live. Double donkey. Ooh, Cheetos does sound good. Yeah, I'm primarily on book talk, guys. You rarely see me.